Alrighty guys, welcome back to Star Wars Review. Today I'm reviewing Star Wars The Bad Batch Season 2 Episode 16, Plan 99, which was directed by Stuart Lee and written by Jennifer Corbett. It was released on March 29th, 2023, which is the last episode of Season 2. And just like the last episode, Episode 15, I really enjoyed it. Deals with moments picking up right where the last episode ended, and then with the fallout of all that, which then I guess sets up a possible third season. My only, I guess, kind of complaint was that the episode does give more questions than answers, but that's fine, as there will seemingly be a third season, and who knows after that. But I'm just gonna dive into the episode because everything I want to talk about is spoiler. So yeah, but let's just dive in. Kicks off right where the last one ended, with the Bad Batch stranded on that rail car with TK troopers inside, a rail car near them full of TK troopers, and they can't get the car moving. So Tech kind of goes up and onto the actual rail so he can get to this tower to reboot the power, which we then see Tarkin order a bunch of, I think it was V-Wings, to go attack the rail cars even though their own men are on board. Which during this moment, I thought back to the moment near the start of the last episode with Tech talking to Fee, and I thought Tech was going to die at this point by getting shot at by those ships. But he was fine. It only damaged the rail car, and fortunately just kind of took out some of the TK troopers inside the rail car the Bad Batch were in. But Tech gets the power back on and starts to head back to the car when the V-Wings come back for another go, which I think it was at this moment Hunter is able to kind of take out one of them with his blaster, which then takes out another. But that's not enough, as there are more V-Wings who shoot the car, taking the one side completely off the rail. Which Tech is right there and starts to fall, which I once again thought he was going to die, but he hooks himself on. It was like, oh, phew, he's going to be fine. For it to actually come, as Tech won't be able to climb up fast enough for them to get away, and the best option is to let the other half fall. So he tells the others he's going to do Plan 99, as there isn't any other way for him to get up quick enough, which, Wrecker does tell him not to do it, but Tech says, when have we ever followed orders? And he pulls out his blaster and shoots the last hanging thread holding his side of the car up, which makes it fall with him all the way down, taking the ultimate sacrifice. Which, like I said, once he went out there, I thought back to that moment he had with Fee, and I thought he was going to die more than once, and I thought he was going to be fine more than once for him to end up not being fine and actually dying. Obviously, he did fall quite a distance in Star Wars. We've seen a lot of characters come back from falling that long distance, so maybe he's fine. I don't know. But over the season, they've built Tech up a lot more than the first and the episodes he appeared in the Clone Wars, which all that kind of made me fall in love with him. He's easily my favorite member of the Bad Batch now, and just one of my favorite clones and Star Wars characters. I just really connected with him and whatnot, mainly because of the development they gave him in this season. So I hope he survived, but that is a long fall. Obviously, we saw Han Solo fall a long distance, and he's definitely dead, so Tech probably is, even though I hope he isn't. He is safe and is alive. But I do like his ending here, sacrificing himself for the rest of the squad so that they can make it out safe. Which, like I said, he shoots off the last hanging thread, and the other side of the car gets back on the rail and starts going. Omega is very, very upset and tells them to go back, but the car is going extremely fast, and Echo can't stop it, so it kind of comes crashing into the little train stop station, I guess. I don't know what to call it. And they go through the wall and crash on the other side, which we see from Omega's point of view here. She's pretty much out of it, but she tries to get up and to go find Tech, but passes out, which eventually the others find her, and Wrecker carries her while they shoot their way back to the Marauder, which we hear, I think it's Hunter tell, probably Echo, to go to Ord Mantell because AZ can help her, which I was like, I bet Babu's got some doctors that can help, but Hunter obviously makes a terrible decision here, which leads to some more bad stuff as they head back to Ord Mantell, but it kind of just cuts forward and we see Omega wake up, and Hunter's there to talk with her, and AZ and Wrecker come in, and AZ tells them that they're all going to make full recoveries, but Omega talks about what she's remembered, and that then she remembers about Tech and wants to go back for him, which Hunter says that he's gone. Which Omega asks Hunter why Tech did that and why he didn't let them save him. Which Hunter says that Tech knew they didn't have any time, so he put the squad ahead of himself. Which Hunter says they're not going to make nothing out of that sacrifice and tells Omega that him and Wrecker think they should put behind being soldiers, or put being soldiers behind and live on Babu, but only if that's what Omega wants, which she gives a little nod, yes. So Hunter says that's where they're going to go. But we see Wrecker with Sid, who's trying to cheer him up, but Wrecker isn't wanting any of that right now. But we then see Echo on the Marauder, which Gonki warns him that the Empire is there. So Echo tries to warn Hunter over to cons, but they're jammed. So Echo goes out to find them, which we then see back at Sid's place, where Wrecker notices Sid is a little uneasy, which Sid says she tried to look out for them, but they have too much heat on them, and they brought it to her place, so she had to look out for herself. Which Wrecker asks, what did you do? Which she just says sorry. Which then some clone commandos come in and stun Wrecker, which Hunter and Omega overhear the ruckus, and Hunter goes to see what's up, but some commandos shoot at him, so he kind of shoots the door shut and tells Omega that the Empire's here and that she needs to take the mining tunnels and find Echo while he gets Wrecker back, which he says, he won't be able to do it alone, but he insists and sends Omega and AZ down the tunnel, which instantly you see Omega tell AZ that she's already lost Tech and she's not going to lose them, so she heads back up, but Hunter has already left the room and gone to the front, where he sees Wrecker prisoner with a bunch of commandos and Dr. Hemlock, who's there also, which Hemlock gives Sid a briefcase, I would assume full of credits, and tells her to leave, which does seem like she has some remorse over what she's done. But we see Omega and AZ climb into the vents, but Hemlock continues telling Hunter to put down his blaster and hand over Omega, and he'll leave them still breathing, which Hunter says Omega isn't going with them, which Hemlock is surprised to see that the clones are so paternal, which we see Omega and AZ get to a big fan which overlooks all of them, which is when Hemlock brings up Tech, saying he's sorry for his demise, and he pulls out his goggles, saying it's the only thing he could recover, which does make me wonder if he does actually have the body for some cloning stuff. But he throws the goggles at Hunter, saying it must be hard to lose one of your squad members, and if he doesn't lower the blaster, he'll lose another. So Hunter lowers his blaster and places it on the ground and picks up Tech's goggles to look at them, and then they, cuff him, which we see a clone commando come out and tell Hemlock that Omega isn't there, which Hunter says that she's long gone, is not going anywhere with them, which Hemlock just says, we'll see, and takes him away. But we see Omega and AZ climb out on top of the roof, which Omega tells AZ to go find Echo while she stalls Hemlock and the others, which we then see her kind of jump down onto a little platform which overlooks the kind of road, I guess. And Hemlock is walking with all the others, and she pulls out her bow thing, starts shooting at them, which they start to fire back, but Hemlock tells them to hold their fire, and so he talks to Omega, telling her that, he just wants to bring her back to Nalase, and if she just turns herself in, he'll free the others, which Omega doesn't believe, and says, she's not coming with him. So, knowing that he won't be able to convince her, Scorch, the clone commando, comes out of nowhere and stuns Omega, which Hemlock tells them to find Echo and then send Echo, Hunter, Wrecker to Iriadu, because Tarkin wants to question them. But we see Hemlock leave with Omega. But we then see Echo and AZ kind of planning a way to rescue them. They steal this ATST walker. It isn't ATST, but it's a walker like that, kind of maybe like the version before it, which they're able to rescue Hunter and Wrecker in it, which they then go try to rescue Omega, but they're too late as Hemlock is already leaving in his shuttle. So with no chance to rescue Omega, they go back to the Marauder and leave Ward Mantell, which Echo says that there is no way to track Hemlock's ship, which, we see Wrecker and Hunter upset, and Hunter kind of looks back at what is Omega's room / the back gunner seat, and Hunter says that they're going to get her back, and they won't stop searching until they do. But we then see back on Mount Tantus, where Hemlock has now taken Omega, which see her get out of the shuttle, and Nalase is there waiting, which, Nalase just kind of looks at Omega with like a defeated look. And Omega does try to ask Nalase why they took her here, but she doesn't get an answer. And so then they take Omega away, and Hemlock starts to talk to Nalase, saying that Lama Su said that she had an attachment to Omega, and now that he has returned her to her, she should be able to work on the Emperor's plan, which Nalase just says that what the Emperor wants is impossible, which Hemlock says you can make it possible, and if you don't, Omega will suffer. Which we then see Omega get taken to like a weird cloning room, which has a bunch of like tubes, and we see a bunch of clones on like little beds, where she spots Crosshair on a bed, and she tries to wake him up, but he isn't. Which we then see Emery come in and say Crosshair is recovering, and that he knew the consequences if he didn't obey, which I do wonder if they've turned him into one of those clone X's, which would definitely be scary. I do wonder if that is the case, if we'll even be able to come back from that. But Omega says she wants to speak with Nalase, which Emery is like, you trust the Kaminoan more than me? Which Omega is like, I don't even know who you are. Which Emery says that, you don't, but then reveals that she is Omega's sister, and that's where the episode ends. I'm assuming she's, a clone made of the same genetic material as Omega, Omega was made from Jango Fett, so I'm guessing also from Jango Fett, but accelerated with the aging. I don't know, definitely interesting. Obviously, that's all we learn. Ends on a big cliffhanger, which, like I said, I enjoyed the episode. I like seeing the Bad Batch fail in huge, bad ways. We've never really seen them fail like this before. And, obviously, the death of one of the members is big. I love Tech, and so I was upset to see him go, but I do really like his, death. And also, one thing I just thought about kind of the opposite of Order 66. It was called Plan 99, which is like the opposite in titling, and his final words were that they never followed orders, which during Order 66 we see clones saying good soldiers follow orders, so like kind of opposite of that. And also how it relates back to the clone 99 we saw in the Clone Wars, who was the malformed clone who just who couldn't end up being a soldier, but we see makes the sacrifice when the Separatists attack Kamino. So I liked all the stuff there with that. But even after losing Tech, they get even more bigger failures when they head back to Ord Mantell. Obviously, I do feel like they probably could have gone back to Pabu. Probably would have been doctors there, but maybe not. So that's fine. But it was a bad decision by Hunter to go back to Ord Mantell with Sid, but obviously it was an act of desperation. And I liked, Omega kind of getting taken by Hemlock. It was kind of the opposite of what I was expecting. I kind of was expecting them to be able to easily rescue Crosshair, but that was obviously not the case. It was the exact opposite. So I liked what they'd done more, better than what I thought it was going to be. But obviously this episode, I do feel like kind of gave more questions than answers. Obviously sets up what I'm assuming a third season will be about. Definitely interested more in the Emery character and everything with Mount Tantus. So, I do wish maybe there was some more finality to with this season's episode, but I'm assuming there'll be a third season, which obviously will answer some of those questions, hopefully. But, all in all, I enjoyed the episode, and I also enjoyed the season as a whole, so I'm excited to see where the series heads next in a presumed season 3. But my grade is going to be an A-. But that's going to be it for this one. I will be doing a full season 2 review. I wanted to rewatch season 2 before I did one, so that might be a few weeks away from now. So you can check that out when I eventually do that. But in the meantime, check out my reviews on the first 15 episodes and everything else I do. But it's hard to do, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Been questioning the order. Then they are traitors, like the Jedi.
Are you all gave up everything because of me.
We made the right choice, Omega. But there are others out there who need our help.
What sort of treachery is this?